Bit surprised that Optimus won that one, though. Let's be honest. I mean, 3 substitutes coming in, trying to get synergy together against a team like Sanguine. Sanguine still can't find the win.
No, I mean, Optimus is popping off, too, which is an exciting thing. They could probably take the set very easily.
I was going to say, popping off, totally. How important is the popping off in the crowd when they're actually just like shouting at their opposition when they're winning these victories?
Mindset is definitely that external factor that you could bring into a LAN environment that you can't necessarily bring into online unless like you're whispering each other.
Yeah.
Does anyone whisper you like in an online match Weekend?
No, not really, but if you...
Do you whisper other people?
I mean, I'd like to. I'd always worry about getting fined, though.
Oh, that's safe. safe option.
But here at LAN, you could definitely talk all you want. You're literally maybe less than 10 feet across from each other.
Yeah, I think you can actually hit most of them with how tall you are.
I could possibly easily throw something at them.
Sure, that's true. I'm pretty sure you can throw a player. That would actually be pretty useful. Sanguine and Optimus Gang into picks and bans again. Sanguine need to win 2 in a row. They've opted to be the first pick. They've banned Susano. They have corrected their issue, Tolly. They have taken away that Cabrak.
Now the question is, are they going to first pick the Skadi? Yes, that's going to be the case here. They don't want to give that away for this 2 games in a row. They take away the early game and the late game away from Optimus Gang. We'll see how they're going to have to respond without those 2 options.
Does make it a little bit more tricky for Optimus Gang about where they want to go, but with Sanguine showing their hand that they really valued that Terra with the first pick last game Weekend, they're going to go for it themselves.
Yeah, the Terra again, you have Susano this game, it's not banned, so that's what I'm excited. If it was relevant enough to be banned, I want to see what kind of work they can put in with this.
I see what they can do in the jungle, because Gorgonzolla has had a pretty good Susano in the past. We'll see what he can do up against MikeTheMagikarp in the jungle as well, who played the Thor last game. Do we expect a return of Thor here?
Potentially, depending on what mid-mage that they pick. Now, I'm surprised that they didn't group up a little bit more with the Thor and the Scylla combination trying to really get Dodo ahead early on once, because the game was relatively slow at the start to the point where Scylla was left uncontested. She got to level 12 before her first death to the Raw, and with a Thor, you have a really good initiation in Peel, so I'm expecting MikeTheMagikarp and Dodo here to really play off of each other, but instead of going for the burst mage Scylla, going for the long damage over time Zhong.
How's Zhong right now, Weekend?
I mean, it hasn't been that successful. I do think it has its place in this meta. I do think it can be played. You need to get a little bit of farm. You got to build tanky, and we'll see if that's what he does.
Well, yesterday we did see some Zhong, and talking about tankiness, it wasn't the tankier option of Zhong we saw. We may see that today from DeathDodo in the mid lane. If it does go mid, is there viability in the solo for Zhong here, Tolly?
It depends on how much pressure you're expecting out of the enemy jungler. I wouldn't imagine that Zhong would be played in the solo, especially considering that you're not safely going to be getting your blue anytime soon, and Zhong relies very heavily on getting that blue buff, at least in the solo lane, because in mid lane you're relying on jungle and mid to clear, but in solo lane you're clearing yourself, so therefore you need a little bit more mana using both abilities.
As in, like, I'm not really the best analyst we have the best, that's for sure, but I mean, Terra with the root combination against a Zhong. Zhong's going to not be able to get as much damage output as they may like to here, Weekend.
I think he'll still do his job. As long as he's tanky, he will do his job. I'm interested to see if Optimus picks up a Raw or something here to do that counter play, that heal, drop it, just eat the ult and
just eat the damage and just sustain it back up.
Normally, isn't it Isis that would be the greatest, like, quote-unquote counter pick matchup in the mid?
The extreme hard counter, but that would be a big risk to put everything into an early game Isis and then not have it do the work you need.
Well, with Optimus Gang picking up Cupid there, they've gone for some extra sustain, under the radar sustain with that Cupid. Most people overlook how good that Share the Love is. Combine that with the Terra Monolith. A little bit of sustain on this squad already, and if they do go for the Raw, if Sanguine let it through, they could pick that Raw up as well.
That's what I'm interested if they pick this Cupid mainly for the sustain, because obviously you have the team fight, but laning is not going to be that strong.
Yeah, up against the Skadi, Tolly, we've already mentioned how strong Skadi is in lane.
Yes, it definitely needs sustain to counteract all the poke damage that you'll be taking from Skadi. We saw yesterday Oxygen Supremacy working with a double sustain comp most of the time. Terra Cupid is nice here. If they add a Raw to the mix, they're going to have that triple sustain option, making it more viable to stay relevant in these mid to late game teamfights.
Double Guardian for Optimus Gang. We saw a little bit of that in North America yesterday as well. I don't know necessarily they can really go for a double Hunter here, though. We can... as this stands.
I don't see that.
I mean, you say that, but then Oxygen ran Chiron mid, right?
True.
That does have a little bit of sustain. It's good tower poke as well once you get a lot of these physical damaging items. So depending on what Optimus Gang has prepared for this LAN, it wouldn't be out of the question.
Well, it looks like Sanguine have kind of prepared this composition here as we're going to get a double Hunter out of Optimus Gang. I didn't see that one coming. Neither did you, Weekend, let's be honest.
Honestly, no. And the 2 Hunters that they picked here are a little bit different.
And then on Sanguine's side as well, I like the end of their draft with the Bacchus and Sobek. Obviously, Sobek will be in the solo lane here, but that front line is going to be really needed to allow Zhong to get in there.
Absolutely. You need that kind of front line and protection for Zhong to just run wild, throw all this spooky ghosts at you, and find some kills.
Well, game 2. Who you on, Weekend?
I think I'm going with Sanguine this game. I want to see Zhong pull out a win.
All right, what about you, Tully?
I think Optimus Gang would need to win early. If it gets to late game, Sanguine's just going to get too tanky.
Well, there you go. That's what the analysts have to say. I'm going to go with Optimus Gang just because I want Zhong to win, but I don't think Sanguine is still going to find one. Over to Tom and Taco to bring us game 2.
Thanks a lot, guys. You know, when it comes down to it, just looking at this one, especially keeping game 1 in mind, I really think that Thor is going to be a big deal for Sanguine. MikeTheMagikarp played better in game 1 than he did the entire spring split.
He was actually landing almost every single ability on this Thor, getting consistent double taps, landing ultimates for setup, just unable to really find the follow-through. But I think this time around, now they have not only initiation, they have peel, they have disengage. It's really, like Toli mentioned, a super tanky lineup for Optimus Gang to face off against.
I love the Bacchus selection as well. Zhong has a decent amount of burst, but it's a very concentrated amount of burst. Bacchus is a support that's actually going to allow that to, he can amplify that. So that's going to be a very strong look, and as we said, the Thor is going to help things out as well. Sanguine trying to stretch it out to 3. Optimus wants to find the win quickly. Let's get right to the battlefield and see how these guys do it. DeathPanter's playing on that Bacchus like we said, but I'm more interested in the Zhong. I want to see this guy get a win, Taco.
Zhong getting a win would certainly be a ton of fun. I'm sure Chaos would probably be going crazy right now if he were to witness it. But I also really like Tynz's option for an Ullr in the mid lane, just because of how much pressure Susano Ullr can have.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a strong look for Tynz, and also, you know, going back to when he was playing for the Myrmidons, he has a strong Ullr. We've seen him play it. I like him on it, and as I said, I like Mike on this Thor. However, I'm not sure if Mike likes Mike on this Thor. That was rough to say. If you looked after game number 1, he just didn't look alive. He was leaned back in the chair, kind of sleeping, looking like he didn't even want to play. And that to me is concerning if I'm a fan.
I think that's just the EU, UK kind of.
I don't know.
Kind of like, he just looked a little bit tired. But I think that he's here. I think he's ready to play. And I think that it was kind of obvious in how he performed last game, because although Sanguine weren't able to find the win, he seemed pretty on top of things as Thor.
Yeah, no, I really hope that he didn't get too much in his own head. Mike is very known for being extremely tiltable. So, got to keep his mindset right. That loss might have really hurt him, and that would be unfortunate because, like I said, I mean, he played better in that game than I saw him play all spring split, and if that's the jungler that Sanguine has, they can find some wins here. If they wind up with the jungler that they had earlier in the split, I don't know if things are going to go well.
And at the moment, Optimus Gang really only losing out on their purple buff in the dual lane side of the map, able to secure their own farm elsewhere, which I think is really important.
Cosmic gets jumped on, only level 3, so that burst not available for DeathPanter just yet. Just going to help out his hunter, grab some farm instead.
He should be pretty safe here, though, early on as Cupid in this dual lane. Granted that he doesn't overextend to that halfway point in time.
Sure. Gold Fury, not really the target here. It's all about the oracles, and those will be split down the middle, so nobody gets vision. That's what you get. Nice play coming out from both sides of the squad. And MikeTheMagikarp just going to go ahead and secure those left side harpies. So DeathDarkDodo here on the Zhong, very, very different character than we're used to seeing in the mid lane. You're used to seeing these high burst damage mages, Poseidon, the Raz, right? Zhong, on the other hand, tanky, big AoE damage. How does that change the way you need to play around him as a teammate?
Well, we're accustomed to seeing Dodo kind of rely a little bit more on jungler or support, initiation, and setup. So for him to be playing the Zhong, now it permits for him to actually be the aggressive factor if he wants to.
DeathPanter in trouble. There's going to be the heart bomb on top as well. However, the hunter from Baas, he's dealing damage as well. Big stuff coming out from the hunter. But that be that. Gorgonzolla's going to toss out the ultimate. Not enough to kill. The level 5 Susano just gonna look and wave. No first blood.
That meditation coming in pretty clutch there for DeathPanter. Just a little bit too late on that, and he would have certainly been the first blood casualty.
At the same time, I do like the patience. He wanted to make sure he was absolutely necessary to use that meditation. So nice, strong play. Sibi looks for the freeze. A great play by Nika to avoid the stun. It's a 2-on-1. Tynz all the way from the mid lane and not going to get here in time. Another stun coming out from MikeTheMagikarp. The knock-up. Nika gets stunned by Tynz, and he gets there right in the nick of time, saving his solo laner. Big rotation on Tynz right there.
But MikeTheMagikarp does still have his ultimate available, so, well, Sibi recognizing that factor, immediately backing. He might have played a little bit greedy there. You might not necessarily expect as a challenger player to, you know, recognize when you should fall back. So excellent job there by Sibi, just immediately falling back.
If it's any other character, scratch that. If it's a Thor, Ratatasker, or a Thanatos, you got to go home to base. If it's anybody else, you can sort of sit there and deal with some of your consumables and just sort of wait it out, sit under the tower. But because of that ability for those players to come over the wall from the skies, got to play it a little bit extra safe. So not going to be staying there for now. Sibi instead backs, TP's back to lane, and he's going to back a second time. And that's going to allow him to finish up his his finished power boots.
And having the wave pushed already means that he won't be missing out on too much by the time he gets back to lane. He should be able to catch that solo lane wave. So no harm, no foul.
For now. We'll see how it works out a little bit later. Got to keep an eye on that solo lane. That solo lane Ymir is so... I'm going to use the word tumultuous. It can go fantastic, or it can just wind up doing nothing. The Ymir against the Sobek is an interesting matchup. Who do you think has the upper hand?
I really like Ymir into Sobek because you have the wall available to stop his Plux. You have it as well as a peeling factor for your own teammates if Sobek were to try and find one. And you can not only separate Sanguine's roster, which will probably be the most important part for Optimus Gang. They want to try and break away this roster from each other as much as possible, because if they can pick off each of these members, similar to what we saw them doing in the last game, then it'll be pretty hard for Sanguine to try and bounce back, because their comp is based entirely around fighting together.
One of my favorite things about the Ymir into the Sobek actually is the ultimate from Sobek. So hard to escape, but the wall is one of the few things that will actually stop Nika when he's lurking in the water. So Sibi with another tool there. Gorgonzolla here on the Susano. I want to see more out of him. I like this guy as a player. I like what he's been able to do, but we need to see more in-game. Nika gets followed up, and there's Gorgonzolla right on top of him, looking for the kill. Hoek gets first blood on top of Nika. MikeTheMagikarp follows up a little bit too late, and here's an ultimate out of Sibi. Big damage from DeathDarkDodo, however, bringing 3 players down, sub 50%. Another big meditation. Big grab! Gorgonzolla gets 1, continuing the fight. He's got to be out of here, but everybody else low and not in control. 2 kills for OG, starting this one off hot.
I think Gorgonzolla actually heard you in the other room, and DeathPanter!
Gorgonzolla gets the kill! DeathPanter lands on 3 with a beautiful opportunity. But it's just that, just the opportunity.
He got the kill onto Sibi, but as far as the worth factor is concerned, the only thing you're really doing at that point in time is trying to assert a little bit of dominance.
Yeah, oh, that's a statement play. There's a little bit of gold to be gained, but that's a play, and honestly, that's an important statement play. More important, so DeathPanter gets his team on the board. There's the 1 kill. A lot of times you just need a little kindling to start the fire. So DeathPanter going to start one off, put his team on the board nice and clean. He saw a double kill in his eyes. That's what DeathPanter saw, but unable to really find that damage. And Gorgonzolla turns it around. You know what? I got what I asked for.
I think he heard you actually in the other room from here, which surprisingly enough, I mean, you called in, he just went in, and that's exactly what you want from a Susano, though. The team fighting capabilities that he has, and that 3-man pool, especially around the blue buff, just permitted Optimus Gang to get in there and secure the team fight.
What a great character, and Gorgonzolla has been piloting him very, very successfully here. Very interested to see how this one works. Still in the mid lane. He's got to deal with Mr. DeathPanter lurking on the left side, so not deep. Optimus Gang chooses to play it safe.
And that was almost a great ultimate by Dodo. If Dodo gets that same opportunity a little bit later on in this game, granted he doesn't fall super far behind, that's actually an incredibly dangerous situation for Optimus Gang to try fighting into.
I like that little cheeky play by Dodo, actually. Tossing the card through the wall, just pinging Tynz for a little bit of damage. It's one of those, you always bring up the solo lane plays that don't matter, just smacking each other for 10 damage. That's the equivalent. He's like, yeah, I'm going to throw the Zhong card at you, letting you know I know you're there.
The card is way more annoying, though, with that slow.
It really is. Oracle's left side. Sanguine have control of the area. Will they have control over the objective? They do. And the vision goes to the blue team right now, trailing by about 1,500 gold. Optimus Gang able to get 500 of that by way of First Blood.
And Optimus Gang, they really need to try and, again, look for those little points of aggression. It's going to be so important. And Gorgonzolla actually caught out on the dash by MikeTheMagikarp, forced to expend his beads and ultimate.
Still a hot play, gets out of there, no problem. Like you said, does lose the beads. I think that's a little bit more important than the ultimate. Susano is a mobile character, but can definitely get in trouble if he's locked down. And when you look at Sibi and Cosmic, those are two scenarios that you're going to want your beads if you're Gorgonzolla, if you're Gorgonzolla.
And
Oops.
Thor, that wall catch was actually just great. Sibi with the 2-level advantage over Nika, but starting to look like he's in a lot of danger.
Yeah, I mean, just pop, pop. Nice freeze coming out, but I still think it's going to be toast for Sibi. The pluck and the hit. MikeTheMagikarp gets his first kill of the game with a hot basic.
And again, just beautifully executed gameplay there. But when the jungler's on the opposite side of the map and there's a Gold Fury available, Optimus Gang, though, not really looking to take the engagement.
The positioning by DeathPanter and his character choice are very important. If you're on the Gold Fury and you're getting flanked by a Bacchus, that's going to be troublesome. DeathPanter doesn't have the ultimate up, but Optimus Gang doesn't really know that right now, so they've got to be careful about going for an objective with a lonely Bacchus coming around the corner. So although they make the right play, they don't finish it up, and the Gold Fury does not go their direction.
And Nika and DeathPanter both really wanting to try and put Gorgonzolla out of position here. I feel like he wanted the pluck there, but the fire elemental was standing in the way.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely looking for a little bit more something. Not going to come his way just yet. Nika here, being still aggressive against Gorgonzolla. Not going to find it, though. Just playing it safe. Sibi coming around from the right side as well. So I think he had the feeling, the inkling that somebody else was going to join the party.
I think what I also really like about Sanguine's draft this time around as well is they have a ton of just hard CC. You've got the Thor stun available. You have the Sobek pluck, and a Sobek pluck into a Bacchus flop into Skadi ice. You're going for a ride.
Yeah, it's a little bit too much. Baas right here, he gets annoyed, but no real damage just yet. Just shy of 11 minutes here, folks. Optimus Gang leading 3-2. The gold, similar story, about 1,000 in the direction of the challenger team. They did win game one, so if they take this one, then they're on to the next one. They'll be facing Lion Guard Esports next. But as we said, they still got to get through Sanguine.
And fighting through this matchup already, Baas in a little bit of danger, using the Aegis and the Skadi ultimate, but now it's Hoek is actually getting turned onto by Kaldar.
Yeah, nice wall coming out from MikeTheMagikarp, but it's Gorgonzolla that gets the kill onto Baas. Mike still in the sky, taking damage from dots, has to land to safety, but here's no safety for DeathDodo. DeathPanter gets pulled in, he's likely to fall as well. Hoek with the double kill on the Terra. The support is 303, and Optimus Gang gonna start up the goal.
I think at this point in time, it's Sibi who's the support now, and Hoek's kind of just transitioning as a solo laner. And now Nika, what a valiant attempt, but just not really worth at all.
Nah.
5 members strong, that's such an unlikely steal secure, especially as a Sobek.
I'm always on the other side. I always, even if it's unlikely, go for it. However, I want to see you go for it with the right tools. Sickening Strike, well, that's a shot in the dark. If he's lurking in the waters, maybe he's got a shot there, but unfortunately, not going to be the case. Nika falls down, the Gold Fury falls down, the Tier 1 tower falls down, and Optimus Gang packs their pockets. They're up 33-5 to 29.
But see, that's the main reason why I think that play was just so not worth by Nika. It's not just losing the Gold Fury at that point in time. Because of his death and forcing Sanguine into yet again another 4v5 scenario, they already have members that are just starting to respawn. So immediately from gold, Optimus Gang could just so easily pressure and push down that T1 tower.
Can Nika defend it by himself?
If he'd backed at that moment when they were securing the Gold Fury and then run up to the mid lane, he would have had a much higher chance of making sure that tower stayed alive. And speaking of staying alive, something might not be said for Cosmic. The Skadi ultimate is used. Can Kaldar make it?
No,
Not
he's
quite.
gonna roll over. He's gonna roll over.
He's playing dead.
I've never seen that animation.
It's always fun whenever you see the dog get CC'd.
I've never seen that animation. Oh, that was fantastic. Portal Demon started by Optimus Gang. MikeTheMagikarp lands on 2. Big stun, big play. MikeTheMagikarp looking hot. Double tap. Can he get the basic? Tynz activates the Aegis and gets away. Different story for Hoek. Knocked up, and he's going to be brought down by Mikey. That's number 2 for the jungler.
That Terra ultimate is the only reason why Tynz was able to clench and get out of there. But I can't imagine that he was feeling all too great about that one.
Mike is playing, but where was this Mike earlier in the season? If Mike plays like this during the spring split, Sanguine get a win, like 1 win. This is a lot of fun to watch, but I'm just sitting here wondering where it was earlier. There's another kill for the player of mention. Gorgonzolla, 75% HP, looking for a way out. Will find it. And MikeTheMagikarp gonna look for the heals over here.
Sibi as an Ymir just went on a complete adventure roller coaster ride with the Skadi Sobek pluck. That's just nothing you can do. He was trying to freeze, and he just couldn't even find a point to turn because of the collision aspect just bouncing him around.
Sanguine with a big important play. MikeTheMagikarp really driving this boat here. They're able to take 500 gold into their coffers thanks to the tier 1 tower on the right, but still find themselves on the bad side of this game. DeathPanter, oh, he gets jumped. And Gorgonzolla doing the jumping. There's another big play for the Italian. 4-0-4 for Gorgonzolla.
That was a pretty questionable double flop there by DeathPanter. The concept behind it is great if you have somebody on your team behind you, but flopping onto 2 members alone in mid lane, kind of not the greatest.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Sibi's in trouble, however, Sanguine with a nice look at the solo lane. Not able to get him just yet. Hoek, on the other hand, he's surrounded by 3 players. Optimus Gang do retreat, and Sibi's able to get out of there. Look at that.
Only meditation being expended there as far as actives are concerned. But now, MikeTheMagikarp, he's hungry, and he's looking for blood. Tynz recognizes it immediately, though, and just backs off. But the Portal Demon could very well go the way of Sanguine.
Yeah, Optimus Gang are low, but they're opting to play it fast and loose. They're going to go right for the team fight. Freeze misses, but the ultimate won't. Sibi takes down DeathDodo. DeathPanter full and healthy. Baas and Mike, not so much. There's the jump in. Sibi avoids it. Portal goes down to Sanguine. Great play as they steal it away. DeathPanter likely to fall, and he will. 1 more for the Stinky Cheese Man. Gorgonzolla on a tear.
And that's the Bacchus flop that's actually worth it. The single in hand, because everybody else was standing or knocked up into the air, just forced to watch him steal it away.
Yeah, nice play coming out from DeathPanter. Trades his life for the portal, but unfortunately, this is more of a problem. Portal Demon, not worth the tier 2 tower in my opinion.
That creep wave just helping Optimus Gang out so much right there. They already have a ton of damage online between the Susano and the Cupid, so the burst damage is actually pretty insane onto that T2.
Yeah, it's going to be big problems as Sanguine try to defend their throne as the game goes on and on. They're making good plays, but is it too late? 16:40 on the clock, 10 kills to 4 as Optimus Gang lead this game as well by 6,000. Sanguine looking to shorten it up by looking for the Gold Fury. Sibi walks into 5 players. He's in trouble, half HP. MikeTheMagikarp trying to zone out the Hunter, but he misses. Nice dash by Cosmic. Baas, credit for the kill.
And that's the only issue with Ymir right there. But the Susano ult is great. DeathDodo, he's so low.
He ages out much of the damage. He's going to be safe and sound unless he walks into the Hunter. There's the knockup. DeathDodo's still alive. Nika saves him. DeathDodo still alive. Oh, out of control. Card through the wall. Gorgonzola's going to get slowed. MikeTheMagikarp finds another. It's number 4.
And just like that, Sanguine are back into this game without a doubt, unless Hoek can pull off one of the greatest steals of all time. But unlike Nika, he's just falling back.
Officer Zhong reporting for duty. The Zhong comes through. Tankiness saves him for the moment. Good play on the Relic allows him to stay alive even further. Heals himself up. Look at that. Just a nice play coming out from DeathDodo, supported by Nika, MikeTheMagikarp, the whole crew. Helps out the mid lane, and the whole crew helps themselves to a Gold Fury. Cuts that lead in half. We're now seeing a 2,000 gold lead for Optimus Gang. Sanguine are climbing.
And the greed from Cosmic on that one.
Yeah.
Cupid dashing in to an entire team of Sanguine.
He was one basic away. He needed to land one little arrow.
But he's guaranteed dead there no matter what. Even if he kills Dodo, that's still most likely going to be a Gold Fury on the side of Sanguine because they still had Skadi available.
We call that rough stuff, Taco. Just rough stuff. Mid lane, a little bit of a tussle, but it's not going to be a true fight until Mike lands down. He has been the absolute key player for Sanguine, and honestly, across the way, it's been Gorgonzolla for Optimus Gang. This is the battle of the junglers.
For sure, and both of them, I think, showing up equally in game number 2, and it's just been an absolute phenomenal display from both.
DeathPanter here. Oh, we hear the Thor. Where's he gonna land? DeathDarkDodo unleashes the ghost. Tynz gets landed on. He's not as tanky as he was last time around. Forced to jump out the backside. That'll be enough for Ullr. And Sanguine now pushing up mid lane. The tower 75% HP. Sibi sliding. He gets tossed to the back line. Nowhere for Ymir to go. MikeTheMagikarp one more time. Big pull by Gorgonzolla, but the follow-up not there. Optimus Gang, they can't capitalize. Now looking for the damage. Nika's low. Great ultimate from Cosmic. Will it be enough? Doesn't look like it. He's going to get harassed by DeathPanter on the backside. Tower doing work as well. Optimus Gang plays defense for now. Triple stun, but it's more about the stop than the anticipation of a new fight.
And right there, Sanguine just too much aggression onto the enemy team as opposed to just securing that T1 tower right away. Because of the fact that they were just exerting so much of their abilities and in-hands, trying to get another kill to potentially look for not just the T1, but a T2 push. Unfortunately, it just ended up working against them, and now they can't even afford to take the T1.
With that in mind, those are the plays that you kind of have to go for. You got to look for that when you're down a little bit. OPS, Fire Giant has been started. Half HP on the big man. Here
There's
comes
nobody
Nika.
there.
Nika's going to show up, but he's going to be a little bit too late. Sibi tosses the wall, letting him know. Will he steal it? Absolutely not. FG goes down. Nika, he's going to get frozen in a heart bomb, but Optimus Gang just going to walk away. Fire Giant.
And that, again, falls back to what I was just saying. They stayed way too long in that mid lane trying to secure another kill as opposed to just picking up the T1 and falling back. And because of it, I mean, you could tell the entire enemy team's backing. They had no other choice.
That's all they could do. The Portal Demon. That's the worst consolation prize of all time. Watching somebody else get the Fire Giant and you get the Portal Demon. That's... it's like watching somebody get the burger meal and you get 2 cold fries at the end of the night.
They're walking the entirety of the map, not just half of it. Okay.
The oracles get picked up through the drive-through as well. Optimus Gang here just peppering the enemy's jungle with the wards. Love to see the vision coming out from there, the aggressive vision from Optimus Gang. They're going to walk down the left side as well, take out a tower for free. Here comes Gorgonzolla just dealing with the support. And as the minions walk down, this tier 2 tower should be free as well. Sanguine's going to fight fire with fire and look for the counter push on the right side. Tier 2 goes down for both teams. Phoenix is going to be up next, and this time DeathPanter the only one playing defense on the left-hand side. It's 4 strong for Optimus Gang on the, or it's 3 strong for Optimus Gang on the left, 4 strong for Sanguine, who have already been pushed out. Phoenix goes down, easy peasy. Sanguine trying to fight it. I don't know if that was the right call, Taco.
Sanguine wanted to try and base race it a little bit as far as securing the Phoenixes, but unfortunately for them, that's just not a trade.
He jumps into the Cupid ult. Cosmic just read MikeTheMagikarp like a book. Oh man, nowhere to go, forces the ultimate. But that wind-up time a little bit too strong. And with Sanguine's, what has become Sanguine's star player in this set, sitting down, this mid-Phoenix is going to go down without a care in the world. Optimus Gang shifting to the right side. They've got a tier 2 tower to deal with, but that one should go down easy as well.
That T2 tower won't really be much for Optimus Gang to deal with, especially not 5 members Fire Giant strong. And with MikeTheMagikarp only just now about to respawn, they can definitely just look to back, spend all that gold that they were able to pick up, and then just pressure once more and take down the final Phoenix of Sanguine.
That pick on Mikey was so important. He is I said he was driving the ship before. I mean, he's driving it, he's cleaning it, he's paying the bills on it. He's the one that's carrying this Sanguine team right now. You've got 2-2-6 on Nika on the Sobek that hasn't been a negative impact, but just hasn't. Nobody's impacted the game in a positive way the way that Mike has. I'm just impressed, and I'm kind of. Where was he during the spring split?
I think a lot of people at home are probably asking that same question, but
He was rolling out. That's where he was. 11-9 here in our 23rd minute. Optimus Gang on the upside. The Challenger team doing the business. 9K or just about for OG.
This is the Gorgonzolla show, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
The next highest player damage on Optimus Gang,
9K.
that's just like
8,000 less.
He's legitimately doing twice as much damage as anybody else on his team at this point in time. And yet, Sanguine is still losing nearly every single one of these engagements because the damage that Optimus Gang is putting out is solid burst damage.
He's also the best dressed at LAN. Will say that. Gorgonzola the swaggest, in my opinion. You know what? Let's listen to him. Optimus Gang getting ready for what could be the final push. Let's take a listen to the OGs.
Four beats. Bacchus.
Kill him!
Nice! Push left. We don't have fight, guys. We don't have fight. Okay. Bye. Sobek. Kill Sobek. Go. Nice.
Skadi. The fucking dog is on me.
End.
Go out. He's gonna ult me, I think. End. Nice!
And the Challengers complete it. They're able to take down this 8th seeded team of Sanguine, and they'll move on to face Lion Guard Esports. Fantastic play, 3 substitutes, they don't care, and that man on the left side of your screen, Gorgonzolla, really big part. What a pleasure to watch these guys take the win.
That Susano gameplay by Gorgonzolla just now was absolutely beautiful, just completely setting up every single member on his team, completely securing almost every single team fight because of the kills that he was picking up and the damage that he was putting out. I mean, he just put Sanguine into the ground.
Yeah, I mean, it was Gorgonzola absolutely did it. You know, I really got to give credit where credit's due, though. I spent an entire split kind of trashing this team for good reason. They did not look like they did today. Both DeathPanter and MikeTheMagikarp, 2 of the players that I was perhaps harshest on, came out to play today. I wish they did it during the regular season, but perhaps there's some hype for the summer. Either way, 2-0. Optimus Gang comes up on top. It's the Gorgonzola show. Let's see what the analysts have to say.
Yes, indeed. Gorgonzola had a fantastic set overall there, but take into account as well, this seems to be totally weakened the week of the Challenger Circuit teams, because we saw yesterday it happened, and today already one of the SPL teams has been beat.
Well, so far they took out 1 opponent. Can they take out more than just that one? Yesterday, Oxygen Supremacy took out 3 oppositions. They almost took out a Memory of Gabe as well, taking it to all 3 games. This is the first step of a long road.
Weakened this game. Bit of a clown fiesta, I'd say, in terms of like one team had it, then the other team got control, and then a fire giant for free, and Bob's your uncle, the game's over.
Yeah, it was really back and forth. I mean, it's always exciting to watch, but
Sure.
that game was strange. That was weird.
Well, talk to me a little bit about that game, because we saw Gorgonzola on the Susano. He got off to a great start. He was 6-1-6 at the 15-minute mark. Sorry, at the end of the game. 4-0-4 at 15 minutes in. He started that things off very well for Optimus Gang.
Yeah, well, the team finally grouped up at the end. It was like, oh no, we're not playing right. We're not playing as a team. And they just started zerging. And as soon as they did that, they've been clicking the whole time. And it's a good team synergy, and it's good to see.
At the right time to do it. And the funny thing is, we can say in there, team synergy, totally this team's kind of come together because they've had to replace 3 players just to get here.
Well, sometimes whenever you make something new happen, things just magically click for you, and this is what's happening for this squad out of Optimus Gang. They got these 3 substitutes, but it doesn't matter when they can play like this. They're being very fresh right now. There's not too much pressure on them, I would say, in terms of expectations,
Sure.
right? So they're playing their own game, what they're used to.
Credit where it's due, though, to Sanguine there. It wasn't the fantastic performance we would have hoped for them to actually get through to the next round, but Sanguine did put on a bit of a show there. MikeTheMagikarp specifically, you even mentioned it yourself, he's really popping off on this Thor weekend.
Yeah, he was doing a really good job. I'd like to see maybe him expand his god pool a little bit, but if he could play Thor like that on LAN, I hope that transitions over into the next split.
Bit of hope for Sanguine then, looking towards the future, I guess.
More than likely, you know, they have to take this for what it's worth. Losing to the Challenger Circuit, not the best thing in the road, but there's going to be the summer split ahead for them.
Well, for you guys at home who want to see the statistics, here's a little look at them right now. Have a look at how that game broke down. As you can see, there wasn't a monstrous amount of kills, but it was relatively even in that totally. SPL is taking down those towers.
They were doing a good job with their double hunter composition, just making sure that they found the towers whenever they needed to. Cupid and Ullr, during that base race with the Fire Giant, there was no possible way that the Zhong could catch up.
Yeah, and talking about that Zhong a little bit more, DarkDodo in the mid lane picked it up. Did go for the tanky option that you were after there, Weekend, and survived pretty well for some of the engagements, which actually left them a small window to get back into it.
Yeah, I think the double hunter, though, coming down to it, was they played objectively rather than team fight, and that's what they needed to do. They played into the Zhong very well, and there wasn't much he could do about it.
And that just gave the opportunity for Sanguine to try and get themselves back into it here, but it wasn't good enough, and that just means that Optimus Gang are going to be the ones moving on now to face their next opposition, which will be Lion Guard shortly. We'll get into that in a moment. Totally, any final thoughts on that first set?
I mean, it was a great showing by Optimus Gang, but the question is, how are they going to take this victory and transition it into Lion Guard Esports? Are they going to run the same exact strategy with the double hunter? Are they going to run the Susano? Or are they going to take a different approach similar to Oxygen Supremacy, where they do like 6 different strategies in 6 different games?
Well, so far we've seen a lot of Skadi today. I mean, I say a lot of Skadi today. Both games has had a Skadi involved. Do we expect to see that getting banned as the actual Gauntlet goes on?
I hope the teams start banning it. It's controlling a lot of these games, and it's not. It is exciting. It is nice to see these gods do well, but I want to see some different picks.
But she didn't win.
No.
That's true.
That's the main thing, right?
Yep.
I guess.
I don't know if it was the god pick in that situation.
Sure, and we actually spoke about the Hunters there, like going towards the late game. That was a bit surprising to see that the Hunters they drafted weren't necessarily late game, like tower pushes like we saw out of North America yesterday.
Yeah, I was talking about they had a Cupid and an Ullr who were sitting right around all the Guardians in damage, but they're still going to be able to push those towers late game no matter what, and that's what they need to do.
And their structure damage as well. Have a little look at this, because it'll just show you that 2 Hunters together is always going to be a Zhong and Skadi on tower push, especially, Toli, when you add in a Fire Giant buff as well.
Well, you're going to have the Caldir at least for the Skadi, but it wasn't enough to deal with those double hunters out of Optimus Gang. And surprisingly enough, we didn't see any Medusa in this set specifically, whereas North America was heavily prioritizing it. So this is what's beautiful about the Gauntlet. Whenever you have so many teams here, you see 2 different styles and picks and bans.
Well, that was the first set, and standing by now is our boy F. with the captain of Sanguine to get his thoughts on how today went. Nika, standing by.
So Nika, you guys unfortunately did not find the win, but I said it a number of times on the broadcast, I think that you guys came out looking better than you did in the spring split.
Definitely.
Was it the LAN atmosphere or different practice? What was different?
I just think the players on the team now have a lot more synergy, and we don't really have a lot of time to prepare for the LAN around the week. And it shows like we didn't have that much synergy as a unit, but like overall it's an improvement on the split, which is good to see, and hopefully relegations will be a lot better.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys certainly looked a little bit stronger there. Talk to me about the position swaps that you guys made right before the LAN.
Well, it was something I wanted to avoid. Like, I don't like solo lane. It's like quite well known, but I was like the one who could like fit the role the best for now. And like I sacrificed myself to like utilize everyone else in their best roles. So I mean, everyone did fine. Like Mike did really well. Yeah. You know, everyone said he would choke, but he did really well in both games. So.
I mean, if you want my 2 cents, I think Mike had his best performance here than we've seen.
Definitely.
All split,
it was
even
crazy
historically.
Good.
So I think that's something to hang your hat on, and I think that you guys have some positives to go back and talk about when you're reflecting on this LAN. As far as looking towards the future, you mentioned relegations. What are your hopes for Sanguine going further?
Just not to get relegated, because we know we're better than the team we just lost to, which is like the worst thing. It's the worst feeling. And obviously we lost, you know, people will say we're still the worst team, but like, I don't know, it just didn't go well for us today.
I want to change the tone a little bit. One thing that I have been very impressed about is you personally. You've been a very strong leader. You've been a very mature leader. And look, you want to play Hunter, and you just don't get the chance.
Jungle.
You want to play jungle, but you just don't get the chance, right? And sacrificing a lot to, like you said, let other players play their preferred position. How important is it to you to be a leader versus just be a player?
Well, it's important, but the way I lead isn't like, you know, a dictator, you know. I give everyone a chance to voice their opinions and, you know, contribute to the discussions, like what roles everyone plays, like picks and bans, strats. Like, you have to lead, but you have to also respect everyone on your team to make sure everyone's on the same page.
Is that something you enjoy, being the leader, or would you rather sit back and kind of relax?
I think that depends on the team you're on. So like the old Sanguine roster, I definitely prefer to sit back and let Cherry do the hard work. But here I'm fine with doing all this stuff.
Word. All right, sounds about good. Last question. Have you heard the new Kendrick? What do you think?
Very good.
That's what I thought.
DNA Song of the Year.
That's my man. We got Nika right here, captain of Sanguine. Hopefully sunnier skies for this guy and his team a little bit later on. Back to the desk.